Alright, welcome back to Master Guitar. Today we're going to answer a very important question. A few months ago, I put up a video about the Odyssey versus the MiniMoog, or MiniMoog. Remember, I'm old school. I grew up with everyone saying Moog because we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have the internet. You just had catalogs. You'd talk to a guy in a store and he would say Moog, so to you it was Moog. Then found out it's Moog. Okay, that's not the point. The point here is cup of coffee. Had the shootout, and it was called MiniMoog versus Odyssey shootout, or something along those lines. Basically, let you know you were hearing a Odyssey versus a MiniMoog. Now, of course, some eagle-eye persons noticed that this is a Behringer and that the label says Poly D and not MiniMoog. Well, let me tell you something. Because this represented an extensive outlay of cash, for which I've recently just finished paying off, by the way. This cost $2,400 to buy everything you see in this video. The mixer, the Odyssey, the vocoder, down here my MS-20. Oh my goodness, guess I better not call that an MS-20 because somebody's going to take offense to that. And of course the MiniMoog. So some people took offense to the fact that I called this a MiniMoog. Okay, look at it. What is it? It looks like a MiniMoog. If I'd paid the money for the MiniMoog, which all the money I spent on all of this, plus the $700 or so I spent on the DeepMind 12. And I suppose I should mention that the cables that you see and the lights that are illuminating the video are also not part of the cash that I paid. And I guess I should mention that the microphone stand you see there also I did not pay for that video. I bought that earlier, and all those guitar picks. Is it a MiniMoog? Well, let's see. I could not have, with the money I spent on all of this, bought a MiniMoog. At the time, there was no MiniMoog, and I said so in the video that came out. Moog had taken orders for a whole lot of MiniMoogs. They made a few, canceled the orders, said, that's it, we're discontinuing it. And then recently, I guess because Behringer has sold, what, I don't know, 500,000 of these things? I have no idea how many Behringers sold. Don't complain if I don't have the exact number off the top of my head. But because Behringer was selling a lot and people were still asking for, hey, I want a MiniMoog, Moog just recently brought it back. But they brought it back at this huge, almost $5,000 price tag. So let's talk about it. Is this a MiniMoog? There's a lot of videos that are out there, and as I was saying, I watched a lot of videos. I watched a lot of videos listening to where a guy had the Poly D, and right next to it he had a vintage actual MiniMoog Model D, and he played note for note, oscillator for oscillator, waveform for waveform, side-by-side comparisons, and basically only an oscilloscope could have shown any difference between them. Your ears are not that sensitive. My ears, certainly not after the drummer I had, is that sensitive. So if you want to look up that video, and I'll put the link in the description because I watched a lot. I watched Joe Dorio trying this thing out. And Tim Shoebridge, I watched his videos, and then I watched the guy who was comparing the Poly D to the, and like I said, I'll put that link in the video. You can watch it. It's quite lengthy, and he goes through all of it. Well, let's see. What does this have? Got your master oscillator. You've got all the same waveform frequencies that the Moog has. You've got a second oscillator. All the same footages and oscillator and waveform settings that the Moog oscillator has. You've got a third one. Same deal, same footages, same oscillator variances, same waveforms. You've got, oh, a fourth oscillator. Oh, I guess it's not a MiniMoog. It's better. It has a fourth oscillator. What else does it have? Let's see. Same push button mixers. I can choose just one oscillator. I can kick in the second one, just like on the MiniMoog. I can kick on the third one, just like the MiniMoog. And now I can kick on a fourth one. Wow! MiniMoog can't do that. But what else has it got? Built-in distortion circuit if I need it. I keep that one set, so all I have to do is just kick that on, and I don't even need a patch cord to do it. But you know what? I can do it if I want. I always leave my chorus switch on, so all I have to do is hit my chorus waveform. But MiniMoog doesn't have chorus. And then I can choose to use uni mode. Wow, MiniMoog can't do that. And then there's a Poly mode. The Poly mode right here is technically that's paraphonic, because what I'm doing is I'm borrowing the oscillators. Or I can put it back on uni, which is basically it's going to stay on mono mode. But once I hit, I start doing the paraphonic thing where I'm borrowing. When I use this, I tend to either have it on mono or uni. Or I can take that chorus off and put that chorus on. So you're right, it's not a MiniMoog. It's better, and I paid a whole lot less for it. But does it sound, you know, for the people who are going to jump in there and say, oh, it doesn't even sound like a MiniMoog. Yes, it does. And again, I'll put that link in the description. You can watch that video for yourself and see what you think. Okay, is this an Odyssey? We've got a lot of people who have sat here and tried this thing against an actual Odyssey. It's got the 3 settings. It is virtually identical to the CARP. Now, if you're going to say the Behringer Odyssey is not an ARP Odyssey, you're right. Neither is the CARP. The Korg Odyssey is not a ARP Odyssey. An ARP Odyssey is an ARP Odyssey. The Behringer Odyssey is not an ARP Odyssey. It's a Behringer Odyssey. It's not a Korg Odyssey. I know, because I could have bought, what, 3 of these things for the price of the Korg? Uli Behringer has stated, or Behringer has stated, that he prefers to keep these things. He could have charged almost as much as the Korg. Easily. He could have done that, and now for the jaw-dropping moment. Whoa! That thing sounds awesome. It's not an ARP. It's not a Korg. But then again, the Korg isn't the Behringer. And the Behringer has easily gizwitchies in it that if I'd had the ARP, I would be like saying, wow, hey, this thing's got, what? A sequencer? Same sequencer here as is on my Poly D. Yes, the MiniMoog did not have a sequencer. Now there did make a sequencer available. ARP did make a sequencer available at one point, and that way you could actually hook a sequencer to your Odyssey, but it was very clunky to use. This one, I can record all my stuff here if I ever get around to not being quite so lazy and actually recording something on it. But listen to that. The oscillators and the envelopes sound just about identical. And several people have done videos on this thing where they've shown, yes, it sounds almost identical. This string machine I got here. Is this a actual Korg vocoder? No, it's a Behringer one. The Korg vocoder would have cost right about what everything you see here cost me. Coffee again. So what I have here is this is a virtual embarrassment of riches that I spent, yeah, a couple $1,000s on. A couple $1,000s would have bought me one Korg Odyssey, but instead I've got this entire setup, and this is a fantastic setup. I mean, literally, listen to the sounds I'm getting out of this thing. And, you know, just a note on my keyboard playing skills, because a couple of people have said something about, you know, those are basic chords. I don't need complicated chords. I don't need, you know, I'm not a piano player. It's more like, you know, watching a goldfish speak French. It's not that the goldfish is good at speaking French, it's just amazing that he can speak French at all. It's kind of like me, you know. It's amazing that I can play the keyboards at all. I'm left-handed and I'm a guitar player. So the fact I can sit down here and play, you know, classical sequences on a keyboard, that's cake. That's icing. That's, you know, it's just a bonus. I mean, to me, I just want to be able to sit here and do this. Or get this. That's more my speed. Just sit here and just hold one key and let that drone while the drums are doing their stuff and get it. You know, let the drums and the bass player do their thing, rhythm guitar player, and then I come in and, you know, play some chords and everyone's like, wow, he can barely play keyboards. Yeah, it's true. I can barely play keyboards. But so what? I'm having fun doing it. So is this a MiniMoog? No, it's not a MiniMoog. It's a Poly D, but it sounds just about identical to a MiniMoog. You know, I'm happy to have Behringer stuff. I love my Behringer stuff. So, again, the viewer wanted to hear, you know, what do I want to buy? I've only got so much money to buy. What do I buy? So I did the video to him as a favor to show him what the Behringer Odyssey sounded like, what the Behringer Poly D sounded like, and what the Behringer 2600 sounded like. I did a couple different synth shootouts just to show it. Did it waste your time? Nope. You saw what you saw, and that's the way it is. If I'd said Odyssey and Korg was putting it out, would it have still been an Odyssey, or is your objection entirely because it's Behringer? You could be deciding, do I want to buy a genuine, actual, vintage ARP Odyssey, or do I want to buy an actual vintage MiniMoog, or one of the new ones for $4,995? If you've got the money to spend and you're just trying to decide it, could you have used my video? Yes. Was it a waste of your time? Nah. Try again. So, then again, I can make it the Behringer by kicking on the chorus right there. Oh, listen to that sound. And some of the people who've been watching my videos, they use them too. And there's a guy that even said, hey, this is what I use for my band, is my DeepMind 12. and all of this stuff I said later on, just because the title didn't say it, hey, all right, next time I'll actually label it for the guys that just have to be the gear snobs, and I talked about that in another video. Don't be a gear snob. If all you can afford is an Epiphone, buy an Epiphone. If all you can afford is a Behringer, buy the Behringer. And you know what? For the money, I like having the sequencers, I like having the built-in chorus, I like having the uni and poly modes. So if you were upset, if you were offended, gosh, I'm sorry, but hey, I've got a great wall of synths. Another objection I had was someone said, hey, do your Epic Synth Jam right, film it right. Okay, yeah, this is how I'm filming it, like this. I just did it real quick because I was trying to throw something up really quick and didn't want to spend a lot of time filming and editing. And so the next time I do it, everything will be done. I'll take my time with it. But I was trying not to have a big lag between videos so that, you guys were having content up there. So if that's wrong, I apologize. If you were offended that I put the word up MiniMoog instead of Poly D, I apologize, but I'm not going to apologize for owning Behringer stuff, because I think Behringer stuff in many ways is better than the originals. And I stand by that. If you don't like that, you know what to do. Click that thumbs down. If you really don't like what I said, click the thumbs down twice. Okay, you're not going to fall for that. All right, so this was just my just a video to answer some of the criticisms. You are always welcome to disagree with me, and notice I don't remove the comments. I let them out there because I encourage freedom of speech. If you want to be able to express your opinions, I think you should have the right to. I think the guys that pointed out the stuff that this is not a MiniMoog, you're absolutely right. It's not a MiniMoog. But again, I was just trying to put up a video quickly to answer one viewer's request. All right, so there you go. Feel free to leave comments, comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.